If Martin Luther King were still alive today, he would be happy and sad about the way we live. Martin Luther King would be happy since there's no longer segregation. People are allowed to go anywhere they wish to go. My grandmother told me she could not go to Peony Park when she was a kid or the Omaha Community Playhouse. However, eventually my grandmother was able to go there. At the Omaha Community Playhouse, my grandmother would go there all the time to see theatrical musicals since my mother was in them. Another reason why Martin Luther King would be happy is because we have an African American 44th president. When Martin Luther King lived, all the past presidents were white, and having President Obama means white people have finally accepted African Americans were equal to any other race. I had the chance to go to the 44th presidential inauguration. It was a historical moment, and my father thought I really need to go. Many of the programs we went discussed what was in common between Martin Luther King and President Obama. At Reed Temple, the pastor said both were great leaders, and that Martin Luther King was probably jumping for joy in heaven for President Obama. The third reason Martin Luther King Jr. would be pleased today is because all races go to school together. Today, students can attend any school regardless of their race or skin color. Most schools celebrate difference. For example, at my old school, Brownell, we had a Heritage Day. Every student in the 4th grade brought food to represent their culture or country. I had the chance to taste all types of food and learn about cultures and countries. It was a great time. There are some areas Martin Luther King Jr. would have been disappointed in us. For example, there are lots of African Americans in jail for crimes they did not do. Sometimes we are pointed out as people who do things wrong, although it could be have been others from another race. A second example of Martin Luther King Jr.'s disappointment is the gangs. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted people to unify, but he did not want people to unify like a gang. Gang members kill, rob, kidnap, and sell drugs. All these things are bad for the community, but they are still in the community and causing many problems for people and their families. I would like to say Martin Luther King Jr. would have been really proud of me. I get good grades, I don't fall under peer pressure, and I have leadership skills. I use my leadership skills to help others at school when they may not understand the work. I also use my leadership skills by telling other students to make sure they are being a good representative for Jesuit Middle School. My last example of using my leadership skills is when I helped my dad at track and lead the team members with drills. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great man who helped African Americans have a better life. He is a role model for people and a role model for me. I also have other people in my life who have been role models and live like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Those people are Paul Bryan from the Wesley House, my mother, father, sister, and grandparents. My mother told me when I was a little boy, on every Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, I said a phrase. I would like to end my paper with that phrase. Martin Luther King had a dream. Thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King, for that dream.